Hello and welcome to Focus Prep Daily Current Affairs session. Today we will be covering the current affairs of 22nd of October, and like all other sessions I will explain to you all the concepts, all the difficult terms that you need to understand, and along with that all the static GK points that there is to explain, right? Now this is the PDF of the current affairs, okay, and this and the weekly PDFs, everything you will get in our Telegram channel, okay. The link of the Telegram channel is given in the pinned comment section. Please go to the comment section, click on the link, join the channel, and then you can download all these PDFs. Okay. So let's start with today's current affairs. Okay. The first one. India Oman conducts bilateral naval exercise called Nasim al-Bahr. Okay, so India and Oman has started their bilateral naval exercise. What does bilateral means? It means the exercise is conducted between two countries. Okay, when it is conducted between various countries, then it becomes multilateral, right? Now this Nashim al-Bahr, this naval exercise has started off the coast of Goa. Okay, so where is it taking place? It is taking place off the coast of Goa. This you need to remember. And this exercise has two phases, harbor phase and the sea phase. Okay, so one on the harbor and the other in the sea phase. Naval exercise means the exercise between two navies of the countries, right? Now about India and Oman, some defense partnership. Let's see what this defense partnership has remained. Okay, so if we see, Oman has remained India's closest defense partner in the Gulf region. Okay, what is the Gulf region? It is the region, just the countries, the Arab countries that are adjacent, that are beside the Persian Gulf. Okay, so that is why it is called the Gulf region. So all those countries, these are all Arab countries that are adjacent to the Persian Gulf are called the Gulf countries. There are 7 Gulf countries. Okay, like Oman is one of the Gulf countries. Then there is Kuwait. Then there is Bahrain, UAE, Saudi Arabia, right? Iraq. All these are Gulf countries. Okay. Now, Oman has become the first Gulf country with which India's all three wings of the defense forces, that is the army, the navy, the air force, all these three wings hold joint exercise. Okay, it is the first Gulf country with which India's all three wings of the defense forces hold joint exercises. Okay. Now, what are the names of these exercises? The joint military exercise that takes place is called Al-Najah, and the joint air force exercise is called Eastern Bridge. Okay, so we saw that the naval exercise is called Nasim al-Bahr, and the joint military exercise it's Al-Najah, and joint air force exercise it's Eastern Bridge. Okay, now about Oman, Muscat is the capital of Oman. Okay, and the currency of Oman is Omani Riyal. This again is important for your static GK portion, right? The GK GA section that comes in SSC or for your GS section. Okay, now Oman holds a strategically important position. Why? Because it is located at the mouth of the Persian Gulf. So it is at the very mouth of the Persian Gulf, so it becomes strategically very important. So it is important to keep good relations with Oman, right? Now Oman is an absolute monarchy, like India is a democracy, but Oman is a absolute monarchy, okay? And it is ruled by the king Sultan Haytham bin Tariq. Okay, now let's see the next one. Now, recently, New Zealand has finally won the ICC Women's T20 World Cup. The New Zealand women's team, they defeated the South African team in Dubai, and they won this Women's T20 World Cup. Okay, Emilia Kerr, she was named as the player of the match as well as the player of the series. Okay, now this ICC Women's T20 World Cup, this is the 9th edition that New Zealand has won. Okay, this edition was the 9th edition. Okay, and this Women's T20 World Cup is held every 2 years. That is, after every 2 years, this takes place. Okay, now this ICC Women's T20 World Cup, this was supposed to be held in Bangladesh. Okay, but this was shifted to UAE for safety concerns. You know that recently in Bangladesh there has been some disturbances, right? Sheikh Hasina has been ousted, right? So there were some disturbances. It was a volatile situation. So for all this reason, the tournament was shifted to UAE, and the final took place in Dubai. Okay. Now, among all the countries, Australia has won this title 6 times, okay, and it is the most successful team. So we know in the field of cricket, let that be women's team or the men's team, Australia is, very much successful, right? It is a very successful team. Okay, let's see the next one. Now, we'll discuss some, points about this economic freedom of the world report. So this economic freedom of the world report, it has been released. It is released annually, that is in the year it is released once by the Fraser Institute. The Fraser Institute, it is a Canadian think tank. Like in India we have Niti Aayog, it's a think tank in India. Similarly, Fraser Institute is a think tank in Canada. Okay, so they released this economic freedom of the world report. And what does this report show? This report shows the degree of freedom in case of economic choices in 165 jurisdictions. Okay, so the degree of freedom of economic choices, how much economic choices, the freedom to choose economically is there for a country, that is what it shows. Okay, now you have to remember the top country, okay, the top 3 most economically free countries are the Hong Kong, Singapore and Switzerland. Okay, and India is in the 84th rank. So you have to remember India's rank, which is 84th, and the topmost rankers, the Hong Kong, Singapore and Switzerland. Okay, but one interesting fact, see that this report highlights that post COVID, okay, there has been a global decline in the economic freedom. A global economic freedom has, come down, okay, in the past 3 years, that is post COVID. Okay, now the next one. Now, in important current affairs, Abhyuday Jindal has been appointed as the president of Indian Chamber of Commerce. This Indian Chamber of Commerce, it was founded in 1925, right? It was headquartered in Kolkata, and it has named uh, Abhyuday Jindal as their new president. Okay. Now, this ICC, this is the Indian Chamber of Commerce. This was established by the industrialists, and it was led by G.D. Birla. This you might have come across in modern history. If you have not, I'll just tell you that these industrialists, okay, the Indian industrialists, Indian industry was starting out, during this British period, and these industrialists were led by G.D. Birla. They established this ICC, and why? To voice the concerns of the Indian industrialists, right? So the British industry was taking over. It was, dominating the Indian industry. So the Indian industrialists, they wanted to, establish their presence as well. So in the Indian freedom movement, they were the first organized voice for the indigenous Indian industries. Okay, for the Indian industries, they spoke up. They said that the Indians should only use the indigenously made products like the clothes and everything. Okay, and they should not depend on the British government. So this is the current affairs. Next one. Sudarshan Chakra Corps conducts exercise Shabalambun Shakti. Okay, so the Army's Sudarshan Chakra Corps is conducting this exercise called Shabalambun Shakti. Okay, it is being conducted at Jhansi. Where is Jhansi? Jhansi is in UP, right? Jhansi Rani Lakshmibai, this you have read, right? So Jhansi is in UP. And in this Jhansi, the army's Sudarshan Chakra Corps, this is a part of the Indian Army, they are holding this exercise, Swavalamban Shakti. Okay. Now the objective is to enhance combat capabilities of this corps by integrating technologies. Okay. Now this Sudarshan Chakra Corps, when was they raised? They were raised for the first time in 1917 during the First World War. Okay, for the operations of the Indian Army in the Middle East. Okay, they are a strike corps. What does strike corps means? Strike corps means the corps that are raised for attacking, for offense. Okay, not for defense. Okay, so they are for attacking. Now this 11th corps, this is the 11th corps, and this is called the Sudarshan Chakra Corps. They have their headquarter in Bhopal. Okay, and one important fact is that it is the single strike corps of the Indian Army in the Pune based Southern Command. So in the Southern Command, these are the, I mean, this Sudarshan Chakra Corps is the only strike corps. Okay, see, we have mentioned a strike corps is used for offensive operations, unlike a holding corps is the one that are used for defense, okay, by the Indian Army, and the strike corps are used for offensive operations. Okay, now let's see the next one. Bala Devi has become the first Indian woman to score 50 international goals. Bala Devi, she has made history by scoring 50 international goals, and this she has done against Pakistan. The final goals were scored against Pakistan in the 2024 SAFF Women's Championship. Okay, this is important. This 2024 SAFF Women's Championship, this was held in Kathmandu in Nepal, and this is the 7th edition. This SAFF, the full form is South Asian Football Federation, the South Asian Football Federation. Okay, and this in this World Cup, she has finally achieved this feat. And the SAFF Secretariat, you should remember that it is in Dhaka. All the headquarters become important. So for SAF, we have a secretariat which is located in Dhaka, Bangladesh. Okay, and the 2024 Women's Championship, where was this held? This was held in Kathmandu, Nepal. Okay. India is the most successful team in SAF Women's Championship history. Okay, and India has won 5 titles. Okay, next one. Sanskrit scholar Vasant Anand Gadgil passes away. So Vasant Anand Gadgil, he was a prominent Sanskrit scholar. Okay, he was the founder of Sharda Gyan Peetham, and he had played important role in spreading Sanskrit education, in promoting Sanskrit education globally. So he is a prominent personality. Remember his name, Vasant Anand Gadgil. He has recently passed away. Next one. Srimati Vijaya Kishore Rahatkar appointed as the chairperson of the National Commission for Women. So Srimati Vijaya Kishore Rahatkar appointed as the chairperson of National Commission for Women. So this National Commission for Women, this was established in 1992, right, under the National Commission for Women's Act of 1990. Okay, and recently the chairperson is Vijaya Kishore Rahatkar. Okay, so this was created in 1992. You have to remember that, and this commission has the power of a civil court. This commission's power is similar to that of a civil court. Okay, and why was this National Commission of Women founded? It was established to safeguard the constitutional and legal, rights of the woman. Right. Now, this NCW has 7 members with 1 chairperson and a member secretary, and there are 5 other members. So, one is a chairperson, the other is a member secretary, and there are 5 other members. So, together there are 7 members in this National Commission for Women. Okay. Now, each member has a tenure of 3 years, so either 3 years or at the age of 65 they need to retire. So whichever will be earlier, either for 3 years or for the age at the age of 65 they will retire. Okay. Now, the first head of the commission was Jayanti Patnaik. Jayanti Patnaik. Now, let's see the next one. Haryana becomes the first state to implement sub-quotas for Dalits. So yesterday we learned in the daily current affairs that Haryana government was providing free dialysis for all the chronic kidney patients, right, in their state-run state-run hospitals. And now today we see another piece of information that Haryana has become the first state to implement sub-quotas for Dalits. Okay, so what Haryana government have done is that they have divided the scheduled caste quota into 2 groups: deprived scheduled castes and other scheduled castes. So these deprived scheduled castes, they will comprise of the Dalits. Okay, and they have made this rule that each of these 2 groups of the scheduled caste will get a 50% and a 20% scheduled caste quota respectively in the government jobs. Okay. Now, we know that the Supreme Court recently, in an order, they said that the states can sub-classify the reserved category groups. So, Haryana has done that, and it has become the first state to implement this sub-quotas for Dalits. Okay. Remember this name, that Haryana has become the first state. Okay. Next one. Government extends Udan scheme for additional 10 years. So this Udan scheme, this was launched in 2016, right? And this has now been extended for 10 more years. This was initially launched in 2016 for a period of 10 years, and now that 10-year period is coming to end, so it has been extended for 10 more years. It has been extended by the Civil Aviation Ministry. Okay, because the Civil Aviation Ministry is the one under which this Udan scheme was launched. So the Civil Aviation Minister K. Ramohan Naidu, he has announced this extension of the Udan scheme. The full form of Udan scheme is Ure Desh Ka Aam Nagarik scheme, right? And why was this launched? This was launched to improve regional connectivity, okay, regional connectivity through flights, and to make the flights more cheap and more affordable for the common people. Okay, so this was launched under the Ministry of Civil Aviation, okay, and the Airport Authority of India is the implementing authority for this scheme, right? So the Airport Authority of India, they implement this scheme, and the scheme aimed to make the flights more cheaper and more affordable for common people, okay, so that in this way the connectivity with the unserved and underserved airports will improve. So there were many airports in India, within itself, the domestic airports, which were not very functional, okay, they were not used much because maybe people were not being able to afford flight, right? So to make flights more cheaper and so that common people can also use flights to travel, this scheme was launched, and now it has been extended for another 10 years. Okay, now the next one. Madhya Pradesh has installed pink alarms to enhance women's safety in healthcare. Okay, so remember Madhya Pradesh, this pink alarm system, this is related with Madhya Pradesh, and this is related to safety of women in the healthcare, particularly in the healthcare. So in the government run hospitals, they have installed these pink alarms for the safety of women, so that if they trigger this alarm, then the siren will alert the security person. So to increase the security of the women healthcare workers, this has been installed in the government run hospitals of Madhya Pradesh. Okay, now Mountain Mammals of the World, this is a book, okay, this is a book by M.K. Ranjit Singh Jhala, and this has been released. Okay, why? This is a guidebook for the large mammals that live in the remote mountain ranges. Okay, M.K. Ranjit Singh Jhala, he is an expert on wildlife and nature conservation, so he has released this book. Remember the name and the author. For books and author part of your GK, this is important. Mountain Mammals of the World by M.K. Ranjit Singh Jhala. Okay, so that is all for today, and the Telegram channel link has been provided in the comment section. Please go and to the comment section, join the Telegram channel and get all these PDFs, okay, the daily current affairs PDFs. We have also released the weekly current affairs PDF, okay, everything you'll get there. You'll also get MCQs, regular MCQs are conducted, so you'll get that in the Telegram channel as well. So join the Telegram channel, all right. And this YouTube channel, this is a new channel, as you can see. So we are trying to bring to you the most comprehensive and the best current affairs compilations. So if you like our work and you like the classes, you're understanding the classes, okay, then you can subscribe to this channel. And if you have any doubts, please comment it in the comment section so we can take up those doubts in the next session. Okay, if you have any comments on how you're liking these classes or what else we can bring for you, then please let us know in the comment section. Okay, you can also mail us, of course, but if you comment it, then it will be easier for both you and for us to reach out to you. Okay, so thank you everyone for joining in this session. I hope you understood all the concepts and you liked the class. Okay, thank you.